So, there is an aspect that talks about your skill area. Now, it's of two ways. Please, you need to listen attentively to this particular voice note. Now, I have some resume that I recommend for some people, and in that resume, the first thing that starts is their personal details, their career summary. The next thing is their skill. But instead of putting your skill, I advise them to put a key, their key competencies. Key competencies. So, which means your key competencies is the first thing people want to see before they start seeing your experience, before they start seeing your education, like that. But that type of CV, it's meant for, it's a functional type of CV. So I'm going to be explaining some of these types of CV later on. So what do I mean by functional? It's a functional type of CV meant for a specific professional job, right? But sometimes it can also be used as an entry level type of CV. So an entry level type of CV are CVs meant for graduates. So sometimes you might decide to change your skill to a competence. Now, what do I mean by competence? A competence is something you that is embedded in you, something that you already you're working on. So let's say for instance, a competencies for instance is a business developer. So you're a business developer. That's your competence. It's you're good in that area. It's different from skill. A business developer, there are skills related to a business developer, and there are some certain skill related to a particular competencies. So your key competencies could be replaced. Your skill could be replaced in terms of competencies. But most times, for the sake of this class, after your educational history, you can put in your skill stroke competencies. So I'm going to screenshot an example of skills, an example of competencies later on. But your skill is very important, and you must include your skill relevant to the job you're applying for. Same thing, your work experience must be relevant to the job you're applying for. If you're applying for a sales job, it means you must have a sales experience, right? And if you're applying for an admin job, it means you have you have an admin related job. If you're applying for the job of a software developer, which means you already have key skills and competencies and experience related to a software developer, like that, like that, like that. So, but I will explain one thing to you guys, and that's the purpose for enrolling. Now, there's a secret I tell people that you don't tell yourself you're not qualified for a job. There are some jobs you see, when you check their requirements, you find out that you're not qualified. Most times I advise people to apply, but you only apply if you follow three major rules. And these three major rules will be the last thing I will share with you before the end of today. So this is probably the last part of our CV structure. So this is probably the last part. Now, in this last part, after stating your skill, you could add any other thing like your trainings, the number of trainings you've held, the number of certificates you've had. So most times trainings and certificates go together, right? So your trainings or your certificates that you have acquired must be relevant to the job you're applying for. Anything you're adding at all to your resume must be relevant to the job you're applying for. So after that, you could add other things like your interest. Please do not put in your hobbies. Nobody wants to know your hobbies. Do not say your hobby is cooking. No. Instead of hobby, you could write extra curriculum activities. Extra curriculum activities stroke interest. Do not put the word hobbies on your resume or on your CV. So you need to, after your training stroke certification, the next thing you talk about your extracurriculum activities stroke your interest. Then after that, you can add any other information you want to put. Then the last thing you need to put is your reference. Do not put the names of your reference. No, just put available on request, and that's all.